You are listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a practical guide for everyday life. A lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 11, The Universal Form.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we had completed chapter 11 last time, and we said we'll review it. So if you have any questions about this chapter, which is the universal form as revealed to Arjun, and then Arjun's conversation with Lord Krishna about the form. So the key elements were that Krishna showed Arjun his form as it exists in the universe, which is a very awe-inspiring form. Many uncountable faces, many forms. He is seeing that the people at the battlefield of Kurukshetra are being destroyed, chewed up in the gigantic teeth of the universal form, which is multi-headed, multi-bodied. And then he finally requests Krishna, please show me your four-handed form, and then after that he requests, please show me your two-handed form. Those are the most confidential forms. The two-handed form is the most confidential because it is the original form, the spiritual form of Krishna. He also mentioned that he is the source of everything, and the demigods and the rishis do not know his origins because he was there before them, and he has always been there, whether the universe in its manifest form has been there or not. So people are very confused about Krishna. Some people think that in a particular time sequence that is recorded, Vishnu came first and then came Krishna, so Krishna is secondary, but that is actually illusory because there is no time in the spiritual world, and these are sequences, and if you see a particular sequence, you can always mistake the beginning and the end to be reversed. So Krishna says, I am the beginning, I am the middle and the end of all living entities in chapter 10. The infinite glories of the divine chapter, he mentions that he is the beginning, middle and end, and he is the sole self of all living entities, and he is in the heart of all living entities. He is the original Atma of the universe, or the soul of the universe. He is also the soul of the elements, without which the elements have no power. So many things were discussed. He mentioned that he is represented by many forms, and Arjun is saying that all the demigods I see are entering into you, singing Vedic hymns. They're very afraid, and they are singing the hymns thinking that that is what they're trained to do in the Brahminical system, and that those hymns will serve to protect them, and that the different forms of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, and so on, the Ashwins, Maruts, the Vishwadevas, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and perfected demigods are all beholding Lord Krishna in wonder. And he is also unbalanced. Arjun is unbalanced and afraid by seeing this as well. So he's saying that I cannot see your death-like faces. Kalanala is in text 25, he refers to Kalanala, seeing Drishtva eva Kalanala, the fire of death, which is blazing. So basically the material universe is a death place. And it is meant to stimulate our consciousness eventually that this is a place of constant dying and constant being reborn. But basic face of this universe, of the universal form, is death. Death means ending with what you have. So in the material universe, it means ending of whatever you have accumulated. It has to go after a certain period of time. Then you start the whole process again. So it is an endless process. So it is very clear from this that this is not our normal place, because our consciousness continues beyond the death of the cellular body. We see this in this lifetime also, that the consciousness, the Chetna aspect, which Krishna again says in chapter 10, that I am the consciousness, I am the universal life force in all living entities. And a quality of the universal life force is consciousness, and that consciousness comes from me. So the soul is also coming from Krishna, the consciousness is coming from Krishna. All great, wonderful things that you see around you are all aspects of Krishna. Even when you see them in other people, these talents and so on, they are all Krishna's energy, uncovered by the individual who is chosen to explore that area. But these are only tiny things, small things, Krishna says, and they are not eternal and constant when the living entities reflect them, but the bodily elemental form, the five elements and mind, intelligence and false ego, man, buddhi and ahankar, are the 8 separated elements of his inferior energy, and that consciousness is overcome by his superior energy, which is also the Maya energy, which consists of the 3 material modes of nature. So that's the backstory of all of this, that eventually these elemental forms must perish and be reborn and take on another aspect. So in one life the soul self can be born as animal, it can be born as an insect, as a demigod, it can be born as a human being, it can be born as a man or a woman. It is not fixed. He may appear as a Brahmin, he may appear as a merchant, he may appear as a king, anything, as a laborer. The same soul is traveling throughout the universe. And in chapter 11, Arjun asks him that, ultimately, what is your mission? He asks in text 32, in 31, that what is your mission? Tell me about your mission. Why are you here, and what is it that you want to do? आख्या ही मे को भवान उग्र रूपो नमोस्तु ते देव वर प्रसीद नमोस्तु ते देव वर प्रसीद विज्ञातुम इच्छामि भवन्तम आद्यम नाहि प्रजानामि रव प्रवृत्तिम तव प्रवृत्तिम. So I do not know what is your mission, and I see that all these things around me, your fierce form, Ugra Rupa, a very fierce form, and I give my obeisances to you, I pay my obeisances to you, Nama Astu, and you are the greatest of all the gods, and please tell me what is your pravrittim. Pravrittim is your purpose and mission. And then Sri Bhagavan Vacha in text 32, Krishna says Kala asmi lokakshaya krit pravriddho lokan samahurtum iha pravritta hrite api tvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye avastitha pratyanikshu yodha. So he says, Kala asmi kshaya krit. I am time, the destroyer of worlds. Pravriddham, and I have come to engage the people. Pravriddha lokan samahrudam, and to destroy this world, to engage the people. And with the exception of the Pandavas, I have come here to destroy all the opposing sides who are opposed to dharma, who are opposed to the purpose of life, the ultimate highest purpose of life, which is to regain your Krishna consciousness and to be engaged in my loving devotional service. So that is the crux of Krishna's mission. So he has answered it in two ways. One is for the immediate present on the battle field of Kurukshetra, that my mission, immediate mission is this, to destroy all the ungodly, so to speak, or the opposition, pratyanikeshu, the opposite side, yodha, the fighters, the warriors. And the other is that I am time, the destroyer of worlds. So the extreme, that this is one. And the idea of time as a destroyer is that everything deteriorates in time. Throughout the universe, in the material universe, the time factor is the destroyer of worlds. In the spiritual world, time exists, but it is not a destroyer. It is of a different type. But here in the material world, the whole material world is run or events are taking place and noted according to the lapse of time. So the time factor is something that is Krishna himself as a destroyer of the world, so that you can progress to your next position. You are given chance after chance, life after life, and that is his mission. So he is encouraging Arjun that you should get up and fight, because these soldiers have already been put to death by my arrangement. I have willed it. I have decided this is what must happen. So they are already dead, and you should just be an instrument in this fight on my side. So become my instrument, in other words. Become an instrument and you will gain all that is desirable. You will gain the kingdom and so on. So he is saying that all these undefeatable warriors, he mentions Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, all of them had great boons. They were great fighters, that they were almost undefeatable. And Krishna is saying they will be defeated because I have decreed it. You just don't worry about that. That will be taken care of. You just go and do your duty. You go and fight as you're supposed to, as a Kshatriya warrior, a prince. And then Sanjay, the secretary of Dhritarashtra, reports that Arjun fearfully offered his obeisances and then to Krishna, and then began to speak. That calls him Hrishikesha, a master of senses. The world becomes joyful and happy upon hearing your name, and therefore everyone, and that is how everyone becomes attached to you, and all the perfected beings offer you homage and obeisances. With respect, the demons are afraid, they flee here and there, and that is how it should be. And you are the original, you are the refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, the Jagat Nivas, you are the Adi Kartre, you are the original creator, the supreme, Anant, unlimited, Devasha, God of all gods, and so on, imperishable, the original, you are cause and effect, Sat Asat, Tat Param, transcendental cause and effect of everything. and you are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest being. You have all knowledge, you know everything, and you are also above and beyond the material modes of nature. And time has, in other words, no effect on Krishna, because he is time, the source of time. So time does not affect him, and you are above the material modes. Param Dham, you are the ultimate refuge. Everything rests on you. You are all the elements, the fire, the air, the water, the moon. You're the grandfather of everything, supreme controller. Arjun is very enlivened, and he's offering his respectful obeisances thousands of times again and again. And says, you are all in all, you are everything actually. And then he's feeling a little embarrassed and sad that how I could refer to you as O Krishna, O Yadav, my friend, like that, and I have disrespected you, so kindly forgive me. Because Arjuna has suddenly realized who Krishna is. It is a realization, means he knows it, he has seen it, he has experienced it, and it is very shaking vision. It has shaken him up considerably. He is disturbed. No one is equal to you within any of the three worlds, and you are immeasurable, and no one can equal you. So that is the qualification of the Supreme. And Arjun's opinion is that you are to be worshipped by every living being, he says in text 44. And therefore I am offering my respects and ask for your mercy, and please deal with me as a father would with his son, or a friend with a friend, or a lover with the beloved, and tolerate all these offenses that I may have committed, and I did commit. I am seeing this universal form which I have never seen before, and I am very frightened also, and at the same time I am very happy because I know who you are. I can see that your power extends throughout the universe, and please reveal your grace and please give me your grace and reveal your form as the personality of Godhead. So then he came in the four-handed form, and then he says, I wish to see you in this form. And then Krishna shows him. Krishna says, I'm happy to show you this form as per your request by my internal potency. So it is only those who have qualified who can see this. No one before you has ever seen this unlimited and brilliant form of mine, Krishna is telling Arjuna. So this is not done before. Many devotees could see this, but those who are non-devotees, they were frightened, and they did not see his true form as the four-handed form. But they saw his universal form. And Krishna says that no one has seen this form before. Although Krishna revealed some part of his potency to Duryodhan before the battlefield, but this form was not revealed before ever. And Krishna finally says in text 48 that na veda yagya adhyanaya na dani na chakriyabhi na tapobhi ugre evam rupa shakya aham nriloke drashtum tvat anyena kuru pravira. This is text 48. That not by studying the Vedas, not by scholarship, not by performing the greatest of sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by any of these kind of activities can my form be seen. So those are useless endeavors to try and attain to the position of seeing. only you have seen this form. So he has seen this form because he is a devotee and he is not envious of Krishna. So he's saying that your mind is very disturbed. Krishna tells him this very ugra form, ghor, horrible, ghoram rupam, rupam ghoram, idrik mama vyapite bhabhi. So become free from fear, be pleased in mind, just relax, keep your cool, because you can now see the form that you desire to see. And then Sanjay reports that Arjun was shown then the 400 form and then again his 200 form, text 50 of that, and he encouraged Arjun that way. So when he saw this, Arjun is very pacified and he's saying, such a beautiful form, I am now restored to my original nature, I am balanced. And also restored to his original nature means that the word is sacheta prakritim gata. This is text 51. Idanim asmi samvrita sacheta prakritim gata. I have regained my original nature in my consciousness. Now this is important. Why is this important? Because the original nature of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. So your consciousness may have different illusory connections or understandings of what your nature is, but the original nature is Krishna consciousness. So that is significant. And Arjuna Vacha Drishtavedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idanim Asmi Samvrita Sacheta Prakritim Gata. Text 51. That I have now seen this beautiful human form of yours, which is very beautiful, Saumyam, soft and very loving, Janardan, chastiser of enemies and also healer. So he is the one who removes, Janardan removes enemies and he heals karma. So he has used this word a number of times. So Janardan aspect is the healing aspect, which destroys the enemy of anyone progressing towards spiritual life. So the enemy of spirituality is destroyed by Janardana. And chastiser of enemy is also another meaning of Janardana. So he is saying that now I have seen that how you can chastise all the enemies of dharma, all the enemies of religiosity or spirituality actually, people who are rightly placed on the spiritual path, and I am now settled in my original consciousness, Sacheta Prakritim Gata. I am now in my original settled state of my true consciousness of who I really am, which is a servant of the divine, and you are the divine. I am now fully balanced and happy, illuminated. In text 52, Krishna tells Arjuna that this form that you are seeing is very difficult to see. Even the demigods are wanting to see this form. It is a very difficult thing for them. They are always aspiring to see this form and they don't get to see it. Very rare. And you cannot get any of this because of studying the Vedas, giving in charity, by forming severe penances, and by worship also you do not get this. Ijaya Shakya, it is evam vidhim, it is not possible to see me through these, but you can see me. Because these are not the means to see me. In other words, the end of the Vedas. Vedanta means the end of the Vedas or the conclusion of Vedas. You study it, you come to certain understanding when you are qualified sufficiently. And when you are sufficiently qualified, then you end with all these things. End means what? End means that these are not the means to the end. These are not the ways that you are going to get to see me. So only by bhaktyatva ananyaya shakya, only by unalloyed devotional service, without being mixed by karma yoga, by fruitive activity, by speculative knowledge, and also without putting your dependence on demigods and things like that, only then can you come, O Arjun, Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So you can only come into this zone of understanding who I am through unalloyed, undivided devotional service, unmixed by fruitive activities or speculative knowledge. So fruitive activities involve demigods, they involve certain procedures, and speculative knowledge is the Gyan Yoga aspect. So he's saying, forget all of those. You cannot come to know me. They will do what they do in their own zone, but they are not going to bring you to me. I cannot be understood through these. But by direct perception, you can see me directly and I'll reveal myself to you. Then you can enter into the confidential mysteries of my understanding, of understanding who I am. And the final injunctions to Arjuna is that in the final Shlok, text 55, Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjita nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mama eti pandava. So one who is engaged in my loving service, mat karma krit, doing my work, mat parma, concerning me, mat bhakta, devotional service, one who is my devotee, who is engaged in my devotional service, sangha varjita, free from the contamination of previous activities, karma, propensities and mental speculation, nirvaira, without an enemy, person who is enemy to no one, and sarva bhuteshu, ya, one who has no enemy, who is not inimical to anyone, samam eti pandava. Such a person comes to me, samam eti pandava. Such a one certainly comes to me. So that was the conclusion of chapter 11, the most significant aspect. So if there are any questions, if you wanted a discussion, so this was just a recap, a brief one, of how Arjuna has come to this point and how Krishna has evolved the discussion to the point of conclusion, conclusively stating this, that only a person who is his devotional, only a person who is connected to him in devotional service, in devotional mood, mata karma krinna mata paramo mad bhakta sangha varjita, and who is without enemy, looking at no one as an enemy, because he is getting according to his karma and he's executing his activities according to what is Krishna's work and favorable towards progressing that work. And that is how one comes to me. So are there any questions today? Yes?
So has the divine already planned our life, like he said?
He doesn't plan your life. You plan your life. He helps you.
Okay. But for Arjun, you said that he's already decided that these people are going to die.
No. So that has nothing to do with Arjun. Krishna says, I have decided these people are to die. You become the instrument. I am not doing it because you are my friend. I am not partial to you. That now I am saying, you are my friend, so I will destroy these. These people are to be destroyed because they are ungodly. They are not fulfilled their duties, and they are deserving of death. So it is decided already. And how is it decided? According to what they did, their karma. So it is not because you are my friend, now I will destroy everyone. No, it's not like that. Please.
So Janardhan is the energy or the form?
Janardhan is one of the Vishnu forms. Janardhan is a form of Krishna. in the form of the destroyer of enemies and the healer. He is destroying of enemies, just like you can say a doctor is helping to destroy evil germs or infection that are evil for the body, and then he is healing, helping to heal the body. So in a similar kind of understanding.
But it's not another name for the universe.
No, it is not another name for the universal form. It is his personal form. Because he is the being. Arjuna is addressing Krishna's personal form. Krishna who is standing there in front of him. So that is the form. So he is referring to him as Janardhan, that one who destroys enemies, one who destroys ignorance. So the biggest enemy of spiritual evolution is ignorance. So he has previously referred to him as Gudakesha, Arjuna as Gudakesha, as one who has conquered ignorance. So he is saying that you can destroy ignorance, you can give us enlightenment, in other words. So Krishna is saying that is not happening through all these methodologies. They don't get you to enlightenment point.
Undivided devotion service is the whole crux in it, really.
Yes. So as healers,
we know
yes,
about what it is, that much I think.
You get more inspired, of course, because if you don't have the knowledge, then you're just casting about in the wilderness, and your faith is shaky. So Krishna is saying that those who are connected to me and they are working in my devotional service, free from the contamination of previous activities and from mental speculation. So that, in other words, you have to be free from contamination of previous activities means you need a spiritual initiation. Because the spiritual initiation frees you from the contamination of previous activities. And then your other previous activities are your habits that you have picked up over time. So those also will start to go away because you are on the way of being free of those.
That's part of the karma only, that you come to experience it. You come with a nature that will make you go through those.
Yes, you come. Yeah, you go through all those situations.
Why did you mention them as separate?
Why
did you mention them as separate?
Mentioned what?
Karma and the nature part.
No, because Krishna is saying this here, that mat karma krin mat paramo, that those who are engaged in doing my work concerning me, mat parma, the highest, the supreme, parma means supreme, the supreme work, my supreme work, mat bhakta, engaged in devotional service, sangha varjita, freed from contamination of mental speculation and previous activities, nirvaira, without an enemy, sarva bhuteshu, without enemy to any living entity, one, yasa, mameti pandava, such a one comes to me. So which nature are you talking about? So Arjun earlier said that you have now, I am in my original consciousness nature of who you are and what I am supposed to do. So I have no arguments left, in other words, that I accept your word because you are now the supreme. So this is laying the groundwork for the foundation that Arjun is now eventually going to be inspired to fight for the cause that Krishna is inspiring him to fight for. That way. So not the materialistic understanding. So Krishna is saying materialistic understanding don't get you anywhere. Whether it is by tapasya, whether it is by dan, whether it is by studying the Vedas, whether it is by worship. That's okay. But it doesn't bring you to this point. So there may be processes that you go through. But you need to go through these according to your own karmic resonance. So some people will go through a formal part of it, some people will go through not such a formal part of it. But eventually you have to come to this point. This is the final point. So whichever way you come to it. Without this, you are not going to be progressing. confiscate her phone.
Sir, in other words, sir, you have to surrender to the light, to his
Yes,
will.
you have to surrender to the light means what?
Meaning doing your duty, your work honestly.
Yes, you have to do all those things.
Work honestly is a
You have to do
first
those things. Yeah, so Krishna is saying very clearly here that you work for me, do your work. Mat karma krind mat paramo. The highest, my
whatever
highest
you're
work
born
form.
into.
No, not what you are born into. Not at all. Highest work is devotional service.
Devotional service.
Yes, not what you are born into. You have to get out. Krishna says you have to be free of that. Sangha varjita. Free of that what you were born into. Your previous influences.
So what I meant was, like, if you are like there's a carpenter, then that is his duty, that has to do his work.
No, that is okay. Born into means what?
What is being
No, carpenter.
that wasn't-
Huh?
A material universe.
Whatever
No, you
chosen.
born into mean you could be born into some religious system. You could be born into some community. He's saying that is not the thing. Whether you're a carpenter or you are anybody else, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the right to come to this point. This is not talking about what you should do in your daily life, what kind of work you should do. He's not talking about what kind of work you should do in your daily life.
It's a devotion.
He is talking about devotional service. Now that all is separate. That is a different sequence of discussion which has already taken place. So that is other things. And he is talking about that you have to engage in doing my work in whatever else you are doing. Even all your other work you should be doing for me. So how is that possible? That is only possible through the healing energy of the universal life force. So if you have the healing energy of the universal life force working in everything that you are doing, that you are overlaying it with that, then only it's going to work.
And so what is exactly the enemies to human power? Like he says,
Not to be enemy to anybody.
what
That you do not look at anyone as an enemy.
It's your karma.
It
You
is
just
your
see them
karma.
as a debt, like this.
Yeah, they are
This is
collecting
what-
something or they're delivering something to you. So you should not have enemy feeling towards that person, that this person is my enemy. He may be opposing you, but he is not necessarily your enemy because he is opposing you because of your karmic balance sheet. Yes.
We have questions from
Sure.
Shukra and Vedanta.
Yes, please.
Shukra first. Lord Krishna personally appeared to destroy the ungodly in that time. Will he appear again in today's day and age? Why is Kalyug, which is right after Mahabharata, the age of cheating and lying? Are the same souls appearing in all yugas? If not, why have we appeared in Kalyug in particular?
So, okay, first question. What was the first question?
Lord Krishna personally appeared to destroy the...
Yeah. So now he is appearing, now Lord Krishna is appearing in Kali Yuga in his vibratory form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and as the universal life force healing energy of Reiki and the KQ force. So these are the kind of energies that he's going to be working with. And your last question was why are we here in Kali Yuga is because this is what we are qualified best for. And this is the fastest way in Kali Yuga actually to get liberation. And it is not the same souls that are cycling in the universe again and again. They are unlimited souls being going back to the spiritual home and unlimited souls coming down. This is called the supramental descent. So people are coming, souls are coming and going. So it's a huge transit place. And what was the third question? That why after Kali Yuga, why Kali Yuga started immediately after?
If not, why have we appeared in Kalyug in particular?
No, that I answered. That you have appeared because this is what you are fit for.
Why is Kalyug, which is right after Mahabharata, the age of cheating and lying?
Because Krishna left. When Krishna leaves, Kali Yuga begins. Kali Yuga cannot fully manifest in Krishna's presence. So it had one step there. The cheating was happening in the Pandavas and the Kauravas and all that cheating business was going on, but it was not fully manifest. it was manifest once Krishna left the planet. So this is the way, if you find a lot of negativity, then even a little bit of golden spark is appearing to be very big. It has more of an impact. So that is also there. So in this whole sea of negativity, you have the Brahminical energies, you have the Mahamantra, the Naam, and you have the universal life force energies, and they're all remove karmic consequences. They're all Janardhan energies that will liberate you. So that is the understanding. Anything else she had asked?
Vedanta has a question.
Yes, Vedant.
Unalloyed service as healers is channeling healing to all activities daily enough? Or is a healer who is actively Krishna conscious a better healer?
Well, we do not know. Is it possible to be either place constantly 24 hours a day? We do not know. But you combine the two, it is good. So there is no better. The methodology of healing and using that energy for everything that you do is fulfillment of the condition that Krishna has explained here. That mat karma krit mat parma, mat bhakta sangha varjita. So this is the doing of the devotional service activity, the healing activity, that is the thing. How will you decide whether you're already Krishna conscious in such great consciousness that you don't need to do anything else? It is doubtful. You may be from time to time, but the condition is that you should be engaged in doing my work. So if you fulfill that condition, you're fine. So if you're fulfilled in doing his work, then you don't have to worry about anything else. And there are these other conditions given here, that freed from the contamination of previous activities and mental speculation and karma yoga and jnana yoga, and not being inimical to any living entity. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Without the enemy mentality. Opposition will come. So you can consider it as an opposition, not as enemy in the sense that, I have to destroy him. Like that. Anything else?
And that's why it's necessary to do Reiki and Keiki both, because more of the...
No, it is nothing like you have to do both. If you do both, you have availability of more energies available to you, but it's fine. Reiki by itself is fine. We have now formulated a sequence that you need to do Reiki before you get to the KQ, because KQ is a different kind of an energy. It is works in a different way, and you need the grounding of Reiki before that. So it is better to do the Reiki first. Reiki is, as we said so many times, the mother energy. So that grounding is required, and then you have the father energy of the KQ force. So both are needed for a balanced overall capability, but you go one step at a time. You can consider this an expansion of the Reiki energy if you like. In that sense, also you can look at it, that this is an advanced connection with a Reiki energy at a different level. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so we will conclude here today discussion on chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, the universal form, and next time we'll see if there are still some residual questions.
There's one from Shipra.
Yes.
Is personally appearing as healing energies that makes it so special. How to be engaged in healing without motive?
you will be engaged in healing with motive to begin with, and at some point you will become motiveless. And you may already have experienced that from time to time, that you're just channeling the healing and you're not really concerned about the result. So if you're not really concerned about the result, whether it comes in a particular way or not, but you fulfill the condition of channeling the healing and you're doing your work honestly, sending adequate amount of healing, then you are can be said to be motiveless. Because you must be radiating this to everything that you do. So it's not a matter that I'm doing this for a result, I'm just doing it to everything. I'm channeling the healing to every single thing I do. So that is the only motive. So it is not motive specific to a particular condition or an event. I'm doing this for everybody. So it is universal. I'm channeling, I'm not saying I'm not going to channel to that person because they're my enemy. So in Reiki 1 we teach you how to do that even to enemies, where you don't feel like sending healing to them. Huh?
Basically, you understood it. That is why you're now sending it to everything.
Yeah. So
You understood it now.
Yeah. So then you can gradually become free of those kind of motives. Because those are also the Sangha, the previous impressions. Sangha Varjita, those are also the Sangha Varjita, the forbidden, inimical. They are actually obstacles then. So gradually you come to that point, that you are just channeling to everything that you see, everything that you come across. Initially there's this motive, I want this benefit, I want that benefit, I want to do this, that's fine. But make it universal to everything, then you're okay. So don't worry about, am I in this consciousness or not. Your concern should be, I am channeling healing to everything. Some things I will channel with more focus because they are somewhere impacting me, or they are personally concerning me. That's also okay. Because Arjuna is also personally on the battlefield to fight, which he is refusing to fight so far. So giving all kinds of arguments as to why he should not fight his enemies who are present there as enemies. They are his family members. And he is doubtful whether he should actually go and kill them. So
family member attachment is a really
So,
scary thing.
Yeah, he's saying just let them have what they want. Why should I fight? Krishna is saying, no, I have decided that they are to be finished. You just be an instrument and you get the benefit.
So here he says that you are all that is knowable.
Yes. But only Krishna knows himself. We can't know him. Everything that is knowable is in Krishna. But he is not knowable by us. But he only Krishna knows himself. Only Krishna knows himself fully. Nobody can know him fully. Can know some aspect of him. Not fully. We can't contain that understanding. But if you understand even that little bit, as what he has said here at the end of the 11th chapter, he has come to this conclusion after seeing all these things. Arjuna has also understood and realized this. That is how you conduct yourself in your life. So you have to be very balanced with this. It is an internal state. Krishna says to Arjuna, I am revealing this to you through my internal potencies. Others may or may not see all of it, they may see some of it. Arjuna has reported that the demigods and the demons are seeing the universal form. But everybody, and their demons are running scared. And Krishna is saying that my confidential form and all this I am revealing by my internal potency. So internal potency is spiritual potency. So this is his eternal spiritual nature. So it is much of it is incomprehensible to the material mind. So Arjuna is saying very significantly that I have regained my original consciousness position and I am balanced. So that is the way to return to your original consciousness position. of being servant of the divine who is meant to be serving Krishna. That is the servant position, is clear. We had mentioned earlier also that either you will serve his material nature or you will serve his spiritual nature. Serve you must. That is built into you. Even in your lives you are serving. You are serving your senses, you are serving others. You may be in illusion that you are doing something for yourself, but you have identified yourself as the temporary nature, the illusory aspect, and your senses. So in the sense gratificatory aspect, you may be serving your senses also. So serve you must. So you're just serving the wrong masters. So you get rid of serving the wrong masters gradually with the healing energy and you will be fine.
Serving your desires, I should say. More
Those are
than
also,
anything.
so you have serving.
Get up in the morning, there are these number of desires, how they, it's like an equalizer. Which one has succeeded, which has not. Then you go after them. And I think if you don't connect too much about them as your ability and disability, then there's some peace. Because them coming true or not coming true has nothing to do with your ability or who you are. I think it's more about them coming true or not by the grace of God, whether it's important. Now I feel when I say to him that if it comes true, it's fine because you are in charge now.
Yes, but at the same time, you cannot make him, as she had mentioned some time back, I am outsourcing everything to Krishna. You can't outsource everything to him. It is your duty and your responsibility also to act to the best possible way you can with whatever facility you have, whatever intelligence you can bring to bear and knowledge. You must take appropriate steps to stabilize your position as much as you can within the material universe in order to serve Krishna. But that should not be your main focus, because in the service of Krishna your position is going to get stabilized. But you need to understand there are certain things I need to do. Krishna is not going to do them, Reiki is not going to do them. I have to do those things. I have to go through the process of my studies, I have to go through the process of executing my job, I have to do my work honestly. All those things, they are still there. But at the same time, I have to do them as a service to Krishna. So how I can do that in the first instance? By asking the Janardhan energies of Krishna to make everything healed, whole and complete, which is what we do when we invoke the Reiki energy. And we use that energy into every single thing that we do. So that is Krishna's universal life force energy itself. Okay? So just do that. Don't confuse yourself by trying to equate things which are not yet realized by you. So just take this as what Krishna is saying. Execute this work as a service, and in that work you will find there are so many things that are actually not service to Krishna. You are sending healing to it, some nonsense thing you are doing.
Just a desire.
Yeah. So what Krishna is saying, it's all right. That will also get resolved. So then you will automatically start following a path which is more, in the mode of absolute goodness, Shuddha Sattva. More in the line of following automatically the proper path. You will start following. So which is why if you consider the religions, various religions in the world, their universal principles are very similar. Because those are things that are free of designation of a particular sectarian consideration. These are non-sectarian things. So anyway, the focus is that you do your healing, you work with that consciousness. So this understanding at this level is not possible for anyone who has not been through the initiation process of being connected to a karmic healing energy like a Brahmin initiation or a Reiki initiation or a KQ force initiation. So if one is connected and has worked with those energies, then only he can understand this. Otherwise, to a person through scholarship who doesn't know anything, he says, I don't know what this is. I can't understand it, so therefore it doesn't mean anything. Now, that's the ego. Yeah, that's the ego saying, because I can't understand, it doesn't mean. It's not that I can't understand, so it's meaningless. It's you can't understand, so you that is what you need to understand, that you are not fit. You are unfit. And the way to become fit is to become a player or a participant, not as somebody who's sitting and speculating theoretically outside. So that's why Krishna is saying, no Gyan Yoga business nonsense. It's not going to get you. Scholarship doesn't get you anywhere. It is a big obstacle. Bhagavad Gita कंठस्थ है, मैं रिसाइट कर दूंगा 700 श्लोक. रिसाइट कर लेगा, टेप रिकॉर्डर भी रिसाइट कर लेगा. Then you can record it and play it back. What? So tape recorder is also enlightened? No, it isn't.
That's a good one.
Yeah, or a parrot. What does he understand? Nothing. It's foolishness. So if you're not connected, Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean actually anything much to you. It's very difficult. You can only get a hint or a glimpse. Yeah. So you need the spiritual connection to be able to connect with what that energy we are talking about. Because you have experienced it in your daily life. You can correlate it. You can relate to it. If you are not in that position, there is no way that you have that experience. You can't get it. It may be very fleeting. It may be very transitory. That's it. So you need to be connected to the energy to be able to understand. So you need a Brahminical connection, an authentic Brahminical connection. That is what is needed. Okay? You get that, as I said, by a traditional Vedic Brahmin connection, or through Reiki, or through the KQ force, and in different religions according to their own system of connecting to the Brahminical energy. Okay? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, thank you all. Bye-bye. We can sign off from the internet.
You've been listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a practical guide for everyday life. A lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 11, The Universal Form. Explore our website, gettingpositivekarmanow.com, for more on how to change your karma and destiny.